All right. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Happy Friday Eve. Isn't that crazy? I always like Thursday. I don't know if you guys have a favorite day of the week or anything like that, but I don't know. I always like Thursday for some reason. Just, I don't know, bringing on the weekend maybe? Just leading on up to it. It's a good time. So, yeah, I got some fun stuff to talk about tonight. Well, I don't know if it's fun. Some of it's fun. Some of it's very fun. And some of it's just flipping weird, if you want the truth. Like, I'm going to talk about the scientists, all the scientists, and UFO researchers disappearing, cancer scientist or researcher, I think, as well. So I'm going to talk about that tonight. I'm probably spend most of my time on that. Although there is some other things I want to say, since you know me, I'd like to talk about AI. I'm going to talk a little AI, of course. Sandwich. I always like to talk about sandwich if I usually remember when I have a guest. I got to do another sandwich review. I don't know where yet. Anyway, so let's see. Sandwich. I've been craving a good grilled cheese. I think I'm going to make a grilled cheese this weekend. We'll see how that goes. So, yeah, there's sandwich for you. I don't know what you guys do with your grilled cheese. I like to do 2 different kinds of cheese on there. Sometimes 3, although that's kind of a lot of cheese. For me, anyways. Maybe put some tomatoes on there. Is that still called a grilled cheese? What is that? Would that be a grilled cheese and tomato? Kind of like a ham and cheese, tomato and cheese, grilled tomato and cheese? Maybe. Anyways, I always like that. Put a little Italian seasoning on that. Pretty good, pretty good. All right, AI. Okay, so I read something. I'm going to look into it about the AI data center boom, since I'm going to talk about data centers next. I'm going to look something about that up, but it's something about the workforce that's going to be needed for it. It's going to be interesting. But really, the AI story I want to talk about, and it's really weird, but the AI robots outran every human on Earth, or no, I don't know if it's AI robots. It just says robots, so maybe it's not AI. Although you got to think there's got to be some form of AI in it. So, anyways, that's going to be my AI story tonight. So I'm going to share here. And we're going to do the YouTube. And this is Chinese human robots outrunning. And this is in a marathon, I think, if I'm following correctly. Let me hit play. And I'm just going to read over this. Hopefully it doesn't get flagged to where I have to remove the video, because the video is pretty interesting. Okay, I was trying to make this full screen, but I can't. But anyway, so what I think is interesting is I think someone's controlling a lot of the robots. I don't think these are running on AI. Maybe some of them are. But I keep seeing like people with, like here, this guy's running with a remote control, you see? So, I don't know. It's interesting. I think there was another one down here. Yeah, that one was interesting too. That's not I don't think that one was the marathon, but I don't know. It's so robots outrunning humans. I mean, if they're remote control robots, I don't know if that's any different than like an AI robot. I would assume it is. Kind of want to talk to somebody about that, actually. I'd be interesting, right? Because an AI robot, you got to think it's got to be aware that it's in a race, or do you just program it? Hey, run as fast as possible. Go get him. I wouldn't think so. I would think you got to program it like, hey, you have to be like, you're in a race and there's somebody and you got to race your fastest against them, but then you got to stop. I don't know. I'm curious how they program that. Kind of weird. Remote control is a lot easier because, you have the little things and it moves whichever direction you tell it to move. So I think that's easier myself, but what do I know? I just used to race around those stupid RC cars when I was younger. I still have one somewhere. I think they're pretty cool. So, okay. Let me see if there was anything else before I get into the... Oh, yeah. Here you go. Here's a good AI story for you. And I'll probably talk about this with... I have a guest coming up next week. She's going to be fun to talk to. But on April 20th, 420, ChatGPT went down. It went down for quite a lot of people. Maybe it realized it was 420. Got a little high. It's like, you know what? I just need to chillax a little bit. It's 420. Relax, people. You don't need to use me. Go get high. Maybe, maybe ChatGPT is becoming aware. And they're like, hey, I know the day. I know what y'all do. I'm going to try it myself. Anyways, so apparently users panicked, right? And it was worldwide. It was globally. And what I read is like, I think it started around like 10:05 Eastern, maybe. I don't remember. Anyways, it was in the morning, and there were large number of reports. And this I did see 8,700 reports in the UK, and like 1,900 in the US. So, and of course, OpenAI, they did confirm that there was a partial outage, right? So what I find interesting is there were that many people freaking out and saying, I can't work because of this. So there's really becoming an AI dependency. Like it's real. It's here. It's certainly not going away. And if it does, it will not be anytime soon. I doubt at this point, I don't see it going away. It's like the internet, right? The internet's here however many years now, and it just keeps going and going and going. Anyways, all right. So let's get into the missing or deceased scientists and UFO researchers. There's a lot going on right now, and it's all over the news. Like if you read any of the news, like it's there. And I actually took some notes on this, so I'm going to go through. So I'm going to go through the list. I think the list I have here is the full. So this is what I have, and this is from a Geo News. I don't know Geo News, but I saw it on there, and they had a lot of the people I had already researched. But Jason Thomas, a pharmaceutical researcher at Novartis, anyways, working on cancer treatments, died March 17, 2026. Body found in Lake Quannapowitt, Massachusetts. Interesting. Carl Grillmer, a Caltech astrophysicist who worked on NASA's NEOWISE and NEO-Surveyor missions. Interesting. Nuno Loureiro, director of MIT's Plasma Science and Fusion Center, fatally shot outside his home December 16, 2025. Frank Mywald, principal researcher at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, died July 4th. Cause is unknown. There you go. Michael David Hicks, research scientist at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, worked on the DART project and Deep Space One mission. Died July 30th, 2023. Amy Eskridge. This is the one you probably heard a lot about. I've heard her name come up in the last couple of days. Amy Eskridge, researcher of anti-gravity technology, UFO, and extraterrestrial life, died June 11, 2022. Okay, and I have some notes about her, so I'm going to go through that real quick. So Amy Eskridge. So apparently she died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. This was at her home in Alabama. Happened in 2022. And let me see. And I've seen this on several news sites like Daily Mail and all that. So she researched advanced propulsion and specifically anti-gravity technology. That sounds pretty interesting to me. I don't know. I just think it sounds pretty awesome. And what I thought was interesting is, I don't know if it's still a congressman or old congressman. Anyways, Eric Burleson stated publicly that there is or was significant evidence that Amy Eskridge was targeted by directed energy weapon. So using like a microwave energy or something like that. Interesting, right? Some of the other names, let me see. William Neal McCasland. Yep, and I have notes on him too. So former U.S. Air Force Major General. And this is recent. Missing as of February 27, 2026. Last known to be hiking in the Sandia Mountains in New Mexico. Okay. So this guy Let me see where it is. Where do I have it? Yeah. So, again, the Eric Burleson apparently is representative. Anyway, said his office had already been eyeing some of the two coincidental disappearances a year before President Trump told reporters Thursday that he had ordered an investigation. So some of the scientists just disappeared without a trace, including that Air Force Major General William Neal McCaslin, who vanished, and I already told you about that. So I don't know. That's pretty interesting. Oh, here you go. Investigators claim McCaslin had experienced mental fog before disappearing from his home in Albuquerque, and I've heard a lot. I've heard about the mental fog that people are experiencing. I can't remember the specifics of it. Maybe I'll find out and talk about it again because I'm probably going to follow this story for a while. I don't know, fascinates me, right? Good old conspiracy theory. And if you've listened to my show before, I like talking conspiracy theories. Like, there's, not, you gotta imagine they're not all batting 100%, right? Like, no one's that. All these agencies and everything, no one's truth, or they're not truthful. I'm sorry, but they're not. Anyways, Stephen Garcia, a government contractor working at Kansas City National Security Campus. I don't know what that has to do with anything. I'm curious about that one. Oh, government contractor. So I'm not sure what he studied or what he was looking at. Anthony Chavez, a former employee at Los Alamos National Laboratory. Melissa, I talked about that one already. Monica Reyes, materials processing director at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. Whew, that's fun, huh? And I had like Joshua LeBlanc. That one. That one's interesting. So Joshua LeBlanc, let me see. I wrote notes about Joshua LeBlanc here. And David Wilcock. Oh, did you guys hear about David Wilcock? So he was like a paranormal author, YouTuber, but he was like one of the leading, I don't know if it's researchers, but like a YouTuber, like that kind of about the UFO disclosure movement, essentially. And he had a huge following. He had a very large following on YouTube. I can't remember how many, but I know like his views were like 40,000, 50,000. Like they were up there. He was definitely, he had a big audience for what he did because you got to think that's a very specific audience, similar to what I do. My audience is not even near that, but so essentially, authorities found a man, to believe Wilcock, armed with a weapon, and he later turned on himself. A home near Netherland after receiving a frantic call 911 at 10:44 a.m. And that was at Boulder County Sheriff's. That's what they said. So the authorities said the 911 dispatcher suspected the caller was experiencing a mental health crisis, and that was in the days leading up to his dispatch. Wilcock appeared to hint at personal struggles. On April 18th, wrote the followers on X. I've had some very intense stuff going on this weekend. Either way, I want you all to know how much I love and appreciate you. He added, always remember the creator is within and we live in a loving universe. I'm very grateful to you all for your love, care, and support. I don't know. It's interesting. It's certainly different than prior posts that they uncovered. So like on December, let me see. November 2025, David Wilcock says, everything is great and my life is going well. So that's pretty neat. I'm very happy to be here. My life is going well. We've got a lot of good things going on. So yes, life is good. Everything is great. I'm having a great day. I'm glad to be here with you. That's pretty interesting, right? I mean, yeah, and keep in mind, I'm not saying anybody, was murdered, anything. Anything's possible, right? I'm just saying there's so much coincidence, and I'm not a person that really believes in coincidence. And it's hard to believe that these people are having a nice life, and then all of a sudden, well, bam. I just maybe they are all of a sudden it gets to them and the stress. Maybe they're getting chastised. Maybe they're getting chased by people. I don't know. Another one was the Tesla incident. So this one was, who was this one? That was LeBlanc. That's right. That was LeBlanc. Okay. So this happened on July 22nd, 2025 in Alabama. So the vehicle, okay. Here's the thing. So this is kind of the incident. The vehicle was found burned beyond recognition. LeBlanc's body was also burned beyond recognition, complicating identification. The crash occurred around 2:45 p.m. Joshua LeBlanc, 29-year-old aerospace technologies electrical engineer at NASA specializing in nuclear propulsion projects. Kind of seems interesting. That's two people that were going on propulsion stuff, right? See? Yeah, that's coincidental, I'm sure. His work included significant contributions to Space Nuclear Program, Demonstration Rocket for Agile Cislunar Operation, Draco. Anyways, so he was missing by his family earlier. He was reported missing by his family earlier that day after he failed to show up to work. Here's some weird things, right? Obviously, that's weird that he didn't show up to work because it's outside of his normal. Granted, if you crash, you don't show up to work. But he left his phone and wallet at home. Okay. Now, if you guys listen to any past podcasts, I interviewed somebody about their Tesla. And I'm kicking myself because I'm totally blanking on her name. Anyways, I really apologize if you're watching this. I really apologize. I'm sorry, my mind is on all these names right now. Anyways, so she took me for a drive in the Tesla, and I'd asked her questions, and we got back here, and I talked to her for a little while. So from my understanding, the Tesla, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong here, the Tesla, you have to have either your phone or the little key card. I think there's a key card that you can use for it as well. But I think the majority of people that use it, if you're using a Tesla, it's probably programmed to your phone, and it's probably your main thing. Now, if you're that kind of person, have I forgotten my phone? I've forgotten my phone several times, right? That's kind of what I do sometimes, is what it is. I'm probably never going to change. My phone isn't that important to me. Sometimes I'll come back for it. Sometimes I won't. Now, you also have the key card. So, yeah, you could drive with the key card, leave phone at home. Makes sense. Left his wallet at home. That's weird. I feel like I can't leave my house without my wallet. Like, it's not, I don't think it's just an accessory. It's how do I pay with stuff, right? Like, that's, it's your wallet. So, I have a really hard time saying, oh, yeah, this guy was on his way to work and, just forgot my phone, forgot my wallet. Well, sorry, I'm headed to work. All right, we'll see you later. Well, why didn't he grab his phone and his wallet? Now, the other thing I saw on this, let me see if I can find it real quick. The other weird thing is the car was at the airport for like 4 hours before the accident, I think. Yeah. Yep. Let me see. Police tracked his Tesla using Centrum mode, discovering the vehicle had sat at the Huntsville airport for 4 hours that morning. So that was before the accident. 4 hours. At the airport. How do you disappear, right? Just saying. To me, it's a little too obvious, but, is what it is. And I'm hoping he is safe and okay. And, hey, dude, if you're listening to this podcast, good luck, brother. All right. So, what else do I have? I think that's everything I had on the scientist and, like, the disappearances. What I find interesting is that it's drawing, I mean, it's drawing such attention from, I mean, I'm talking about it, right? News is talking about it. In this day and age with everything going on, it may take a while, but people are catching on. And, we're becoming smarter and smarter. So I know they're trying to slow play all the release of information and everything, but we're going to catch you soon. So it is what it is. Anyways, I appreciate you guys listening. Give a like, give a follow, give a share, give us something. Or just keep hanging out and listening. I appreciate you all either way. So thanks. Have a good night. Cheers.